All right, so get this. Imagine OpenAI's new Strawberry LLM, but as fast as, like, lightning. That's what we're diving into today.
Ambitious but exciting.
Right. We're talking about making these powerful language models faster and more useful, and you sent us some really cool stuff to unpack for this deep dive. Code documentation, a YouTube video.
Yeah, it's a pretty potent combo. We're looking at some seriously cutting-edge AI development here, like theoretical research actually becoming a practical tool.
And speaking of practical, the video you found is anything but dry technical stuff, let me tell you.
Oh, really? What is it?
It features this guy, Jay Gravelle, from AI Tips with Jay, and let me tell you, the guy is HYPED.
He does have, like, a certain contagious enthusiasm for AI.
Contagious is putting it mildly. He practically leaps through the screen when he starts talking about Groq processors.
Groq processors. Interesting. What's he so excited about?
Their new chain of thought upgrade, apparently. He claims this thing can run circles around traditional LLMs, including Strawberry.
Well, speed is definitely a critical factor in AI development.
Yeah.
And Groq has always pushed the boundaries of processing power.
And he doesn't just talk about it, he actually puts it to the test.
Oh, how so?
He throws a medical question at both Strawberry and Groq, just to see what happens, right?
Okay, yes.
Groq spits out the answer in a blink. Like instantly, while Strawberry is, still warming up.
That's a pretty compelling demonstration.
Yeah.
Moving beyond the hypothetical and tackling real-world problems, that's what we want to see.
Right. But it's not just about speed. There's another interesting point he makes. He had another AI called Claude analyze both answers.
Okay, interesting.
Claude found OpenAI's Strawberry answer to be a bit more concise.
Ah, so it's not a simple case of one being definitively better than the other. Different AI approaches, each with its strengths. Makes sense.
Exactly. And that's where things get really interesting, especially for developers, because then it becomes about how you harness that power. How do you choose the right tool for the job? That's where the documentation you sent comes in. It's all about this thing called, get this, PocketGroq.
PocketGroq. Okay, I'm intrigued.
Right. So we've got this potential AI showdown brewing Groq for speed, Strawberry for conciseness, and now we got to see how PocketGroq fits into all this. But based on the name alone, I'm guessing it's about making this technology more, accessible, user-friendly.
You're on the right track. Think of PocketGroq as a toolkit. It gives developers a way to harness the power of Groq's language models without needing to be, like, AI wizards themselves.
So it's like a translator, in a way. It takes a developer's instructions and turns them into something the Groq system can understand.
Exactly. But the really cool part is that it doesn't just stop at basic communication. It goes way beyond that. PocketGroq comes with this whole suite of tools designed to make working with these advanced language models, well, easier. Agrees.
All right, you piqued my curiosity. Hit me with the highlights. What can this PocketGroq actually do?
Well, for starters, it has something called a web tool built right in, which is really cool if you're doing any kind of research or need to quickly pull info from the web.
Hold on, you're saying this thing can do my web research for me. Now, you have my attention.
Yeah. Let's say you're, writing a blog post and need to quickly fact-check something, or maybe you need to gather context for a project. PocketGroq's web tool acts like your own personal research assistant. It retrieves and organizes information from that vast sea of the internet for you.
Okay, that alone sounds incredibly useful, but I have a feeling that's just the tip of the iceberg here, right? What else is lurking in this PocketGroq toolkit?
This is where it gets really exciting. Remember Jay Gravelle and all that enthusiasm for chain of thought reasoning? Well, guess what? PocketGroq brings that capability to the table, too.
Okay, hold on a second. Before we go any further, let's maybe demystify this whole chain of thought thing a bit. I'm all for fancy AI terms, but only if I actually understand what they mean.
Fair enough. It's not about the jargon. It's about understanding the power behind it all. In simple terms, chain of thought means that instead of just giving you a final answer, the AI actually breaks down its reasoning step by step. Like, imagine showing your work on a math problem, right?
So instead of just saying the capital of France is Paris, it would actually, walk me through how it got there.
Exactly. It might say something like, France is a country in Europe. Capitals are usually major cities. Paris is the largest and most well-known city in France, therefore. You get the idea?
Okay, yeah, that makes a lot more sense. And I can see how that'd be so valuable, not just for understanding how the AI works, but for building trust, too. If I can follow its logic, I'm way more likely to trust the conclusions, right?
Precisely. And the beauty of PocketGroq is that it makes this complex capability accessible for developers. They can actually use specific functions to build applications that use this step-by-step reasoning, solve problems with it.
So it's not just a theoretical advantage, it's actually something they can build with. That's wild. But let's bring this down to earth for a sec. We've talked about faster processing, chain of thought, this whole web tool thing. But what does it actually mean for, like, someone like me? Or our listener, someone who's not, coding AI applications every day? Give me some examples.
Okay, sure. Let's start with something we can all relate to. Content creation. Imagine you're writing a blog post, an article, even just trying to come up with social media updates. PocketGroq can be a game changer.
Hold on. You're saying this thing can write my blog post for me because, honestly, sign me up.
Well, not quite. Think of it more like having a really, really efficient writing assistant. You provide the topic, maybe some key points you want to cover, and PocketGroq helps you generate ideas, suggest different angles, maybe even draft some paragraphs. It's about augmenting your creativity, not like replacing it.
Okay, so maybe it's not coming for my job just yet, but that's still incredibly useful. What about something more technical? Like, let's say I'm trying to debug some code, I'm totally stumped. Could PocketGroq give me a hand there?
Absolutely. The documentation actually has examples of PocketGroq being used for exactly that code-related tasks. You could feed it a snippet of code. It can help you understand what each part does, identify potential errors, even suggest different ways to achieve the same result.
Whoa, so it's like having a super-powered Stack Overflow right at my fingertips. This is getting kind of scary, but in a good way. What other real-world applications can you think of?
Let's talk data analysis. Imagine you're a business owner. You're drowning in spreadsheets, right? Sales figures, marketing data, customer demographics. It's just numbers until you can make sense of it.
And that's where PocketGroq steps in.
Exactly. You use it to analyze all that data, identify trends, even generate reports that highlight the important insights. It's like having a dedicated data analyst on call, crunching those numbers and telling you what they mean for your business.
Okay, so we've got content creation, code assistance, data analysis. It's like this PocketGroq is the Swiss Army knife of AI tools. Are there any limits to what this thing can do?
It's important to remember that PocketGroq, while powerful, is still a tool. It's an extension of what those Groq language models can do, but it's not a magic solution to everything.
Fair enough. But you gotta admit, the range of applications here is pretty mind-blowing, and we haven't even really touched on that web tool you mentioned earlier.
Yes. Remember, the personal research assistant.
How could I forget? Sounds like a dream come true, honestly.
Think about how much time we spend every day just searching for information online. Now imagine being able to automate that. Having PocketGroq gather information from tons of sources, summarize the key findings, even cross-reference data to check for accuracy.
Okay, now you're just showing off.
But think about the implications for researchers, for students, journalists, anyone who relies on accurate, up-to-date information. This could be a complete game changer.
You're right. It's not even just about saving time. It's about freeing up our brain power to actually focus on the important stuff. The analysis, the creativity, the problem solving. Let the AI handle the information gathering. We'll focus on the big picture.
Exactly. It's about leveraging technology to make us, well, better.
Okay, so we've covered the basics of PocketGroq, explored some seriously mind-blowing potential applications. I'm officially geeking out over here. But before we get too carried away, I'm curious about something. The documentation mentions some, let's say, advanced features, right?
It does. There's this really cool feature called asynchronous generation, which is a fancy way of saying you can run multiple tasks at the same time, like having a whole team of AI assistants working for you.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
What else?
There's also a JSON mode, which might sound a little technical, but it's incredibly useful for developers who work with structured data. Think of it like a universal language for organizing and sharing information.
So no matter what kind of data you're working with, PocketGroq can understand it, make sense of it, help you use it.
Exactly. It's all about making these powerful AI tools as versatile and accessible as possible.
I love it. Every time we peel back a layer of this PocketGroq onion, there's something even more impressive underneath. That's what the deep dive is all about. Speaking of, we've covered a lot of ground today. Ready for a quick breather before we jump into the grand finale?
Absolutely. Let's give our listeners a moment to catch their breath, and we'll be back in a flash.
Hi friends, it's Jay. Look, I don't have a Patreon, I don't have a consulting business, and I'm not selling memberships to my exclusive club. I just love AI. Period. If you get any value from my contributions to the community, all I ask in return is that you like, subscribe, and share.
And send cookies.
Cookies? I thought you were on a diet.
Cookies is a dancer down at the go-go bar.
I shouldn't even give you a microphone.
Pocket Groq, the Groq in your pocket. Pocket Groq, the Groq in your pocket.
All right, and we're back. Diving into this Pocket Groq thing has been like opening a series of treasure chests. Every time we think we've seen it all, bam, another layer of awesome.
It really shows how fast this whole field is moving.
Yeah.
What's cutting edge today is like standard tomorrow.
No kidding. And speaking of cutting edge, we've talked a lot about the how of Pocket Groq, but let's dig into the why a bit more. We touched on this earlier with chain of thought reasoning, but the documentation actually gives a really cool example of how powerful this can be. It talks about a farmer trying to figure out how to expand their field.
Yeah, that's a good one. Because it's not just simple math, right?
Yeah.
The problem involves percentages, calculating areas, even rounding the answer to the nearest centimeter. Like, it's a multi-step problem, the kind we run into all the time in real life.
Exactly. And what really struck me was how Pocket Groq didn't just spit out a number. It walked through each step of the calculation, explained its logic,
Totally. It's like having that friend who's like a math whiz explaining their thought process.
Yeah.
So you actually learn something, not just get the answer.
Which is huge, right? Especially as we start using AI for more and more complex stuff, medical diagnoses, financial modeling. You don't just want a black box telling you what to do. You want to understand the why.
Absolutely. And that's what chain of thought reasoning brings to the table. That transparency, that accountability.
Yeah.
It builds trust in these AI systems.
It's not just about making AI smarter. It's about making it a better partner for us, for humans.
100%. It's augmenting our abilities, not trying to replace them. We bring our creativity, our intuition, our experience to the table, and AI gives us these powerful tools to process information and explore solutions we might not have thought of otherwise.
Couldn't have said it better myself. Okay, so to wrap things up here, we've gone from a YouTube video, a very enthusiastic AI expert, to uncovering this hidden gem called Pocket Groq. We've explored its features, its potential applications, even dipped our toes into the philosophical side of chain of thought reasoning. I gotta say, I'm both excited and a little overwhelmed.
It's a lot to process. But that's the beauty of it. We're still in the early stages with this technology, which means so much potential for innovation, for discovery. It's an open invitation to explore, experiment, imagine new ways to use AI to solve problems, improve our lives.
Beautifully said. But before we let you go, gotta leave our listeners with something to ponder, right? Remember how Jay Gravelle, in that initial video, he chose that medical question on purpose to test Groq? He said, we shouldn't waste this technology on something as simple as, counting ducks. So what about you, dear listener? What are some of those big, hairy, real-world problems where faster, more efficient AI like this could be truly groundbreaking? Think beyond the obvious. Who knows? Maybe you'll be the one to unlock the next level of AI innovation. Until next time on The Deep Dive.
Pocket Groq. Pocket Groq. Gravelle in a puppet stock. One of them in the puppet stock. Pocket Groq. Pocket Groq. Pocket Groq, a Groq in your pocket. 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 Pocket Groq, a Groq in your pocket.